Welcome to my channel. Here, it's all about reading the most wonderful fairy tales to you in a modern presentation. To make sure you don't miss anything, go ahead and subscribe to the channel and click on the notification bell. This way, you'll always be informed about new videos. Look forward to many exciting reading sessions. The Snow Queen, a modern version. Once upon a time in a large, bustling city, where glittering skyscrapers reached for the sky and the streets were full of life, there was a small, cozy neighborhood where time seemed to move slower. In this neighborhood lived two best friends, Kai and Gerda. They lived in neighboring apartments, and their windows were connected by a small, blooming garden where they often played and forgot the world around them. One day, during an especially cold winter when the snowflakes danced from the sky like little stars, Gerda's grandmother told them the legend of the Snow Queen, a mysterious ruler of winter who lived high in the north in a palace made of ice. Kai and Gerda listened fascinated to the stories about the Snow Queen and her icy world. Not long after, something strange happened. Kai began to act very oddly. He became grumpy and dismissive, even towards Gerda. One day, as the snowflakes gently fell from the sky again, Kai sat by the window and watched them fall to the ground. Suddenly, he felt a sharp pain in his eye and then in his heart. He didn't know that this was the work of small, sharp shards from an enchanted mirror created by an evil sorcerer, whose pieces now hardened the hearts and eyes of people. From that day on, Kai saw everything around him, even Gerda and the beautiful flowers in their garden, as ugly and boring. His heart turned cold as ice. In the deepest winter, when the city lay buried under a thick layer of snow, the Snow Queen appeared before Kai. She kissed him twice, once to protect him from the cold, and a second time to make him forget everything from the past, even Gerda. Then she took Kai in her magnificent sleigh and drove off with them to her realm far in the north. Gerda was devastated when she learned that Kai had disappeared. She decided to search for him, no matter the cost. Bravely, she set out on her journey, accompanied only by her belief in the deep friendship she and Kai shared. She crossed foreign cities, overcame dangerous forests, and crossed raging rivers. Everywhere she went, she asked about Kai and told of her search. Along the way, she met many kind souls who helped her and shared stories of their own adventures and trials. After many days and nights filled with both fear and hope, Gerda finally reached the edge of the eternal winter, where the Snow Queen ruled in her cold, glittering palace. But before she could enter the palace, Gerda had to overcome numerous challenges that tested her resolve, her courage, and the depth of her friendship with Kai. In the icy world at the edge of the eternal winter, where the snow never seemed to melt and the wind whistled coldly through the bare trees, Gerda found the entrance to the Snow Queen's palace. She was determined to free Kai, no matter what obstacles she had to overcome. Gerda entered the palace with trembling steps, surrounded by ice walls that sparkled in 1,000 colors. She called out for Kai, but her voice was lost in the silence of the icy realm. Deep inside the palace, she finally found Kai, alone on a frozen lake, trying to arrange ice shards into a word. This was the last task the Snow Queen had set for him, but his heart was too cold to feel the warmth of memories. When Gerda saw Kai, she ran to him and embraced him tightly, tears of joy and relief streaming down her cheeks. The warmth of her embrace and the power of her tears, which were signs of true love and friendship, melted the ice in Kai's heart and washed away the shards of the enchanted mirror from his eyes. Kai looked up and saw Gerda, his best friend, who had gone through so much to find and save him. In that moment, all his memories returned, the love and joy they had shared, the games in the garden, the stories Gerda's grandmother had told them. He stood up, embraced Gerda, and together they cried with happiness. The Snow Queen observed the scene from afar. She was amazed by the power of love and friendship, which could even melt her icy realm. In that moment, she realized that true power did not lie in the dominion over cold and ice, but in the deep, unbreakable bonds that held hearts together. With Kai's hand in hers, Gerda and Kai set out on their journey home. Their journey was no less perilous, but their hearts were light and full of joy, for they were reunited and their friendship was stronger than ever. They shared stories, laughed about old memories, and planned their adventures for the future. When they finally returned to their home neighborhood, it was spring. The flowers in their garden bloomed in the most vibrant colors, and the birds sang songs of return and new beginnings. Kai and Gerda promised never to be apart again, and their friendship became legendary in their neighborhood. People talked for a long time about the bravery of little Gerda, who stood up to the Snow Queen and proved that love and friendship are the strongest forces in the world. And if they have not died, they are still living today, side by side, bound by a bond stronger than any magic. In the days and weeks following their return from the realm of the Snow Queen, Kai and Gerda found their way back to their old lives, but they were no longer the same children as before. They had experienced adventures and faced trials that made them stronger and wiser. Their friendship had become even deeper through the experiences they had shared. The story of Gerda's brave journey and her unwavering love and friendship for Kai was passed from mouth to mouth in their neighborhood. The children in the area looked up to them and listened intently as Kai and Gerda recounted their adventures in the icy realm of the Snow Queen. Their parents and grandparents nodded in approval, pleased with the strength and courage the two young friends had shown. Over time, their story transformed into a modern fairy tale, told by teachers in schools and read by parents as a bedtime story. It was a story that encouraged children to believe in themselves and never lose hope, teaching that no challenge is too great when you have friends who believe in you. Kai and Gerda grew up, but they never forgot the lessons they had learned on their journey. They always remembered the importance of compassion, courage, and the power of friendship. They became inspiring figures in their community, always ready to help those who needed it most and to live their lives with openness and love. Meanwhile, something had also changed in the distant realm of the Snow Queen. Touched by the power of love and friendship that Kai and Gerda had shown, the Snow Queen began to see her realm differently. She allowed warmth into her heart and palace, transforming the cold, icy landscapes into wonderful, glittering wonders that were no longer filled with cold, but with the beauty of nature. Thus ends the modern version of the fairy tale The Snow Queen, a story that will inspire children and adults alike over the years. It is a reminder that, no matter how cold and challenging the world may sometimes seem, the warmth of love, the power of friendship, and the belief in goodness will always find a way to brighten the darkness. And so, dear children, the next time you see a snowflake, remember how valuable friendship is, and remind yourselves that each of us has the power to melt the ice and make the world a warmer place. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and activate the notification bell so you won't miss any new fairy tales.